An independent law firm is expected to investigate the death of a grade 7 pupil from Laerskool Queenwood in Pretoria. The pupil drowned during a school excursion this month, and since there's been questions around what exactly happened, Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is part of our team at the school at the Sawa, and she joins us now live. Nqobile, an incredibly heartbreaking story, this, especially because we've been here before.
Yes. Very heartbreaking, Ayanda. I can tell you that much. The family is going through a lot at this very point, and you would see in some of the interviews that they've done that how heart-wrenching it is for them to go through what they're going through, and a lot of questions around in terms of what really happened. So those questions are then needed to be answered by this law firm that will be investigating. So the family really just looking for closure and understanding. I mean, if you remember how the father explained that you trust a school. When you take a child to a school, you're trusting the school, you're trusting the teachers as parents that they will be taking care of your child. However, in this case, they have got this call and it basically just broke them down. We know that the department is going to be here, and we've got Steve to speak to us, of course, about what the department is expected to do. Steve, I can tell you already from the interviews that we've heard from the families that they want answers, and that's all they want. Can this law firm give them the answer and the sort of closure that they need?
Now, good morning to all our viewers and yourself. Look, the past experience did indicate that, after appointing an independent body, we will then get the recommendations, well, which they will, to a certain extent, some families will not be satisfied, some will be, depending on what is it that is put on the table. But, a loss of life is a detriment, it's bad, to people's hearts, and one life lost in our environment is too many. That's why we will always be supportive and make sure that we work with the schools and everyone that is involved to make sure that the family at the ultimate end, they find closure, which we are hopeful that it will be at their favor.
And based on what you have noticed, and I know that the investigation, of course, is still ongoing, did the school at least tick the right boxes in ensuring that in this excursion the kids will be safe?
You will understand that, taking from the past experience, any water-related activity, be it an excursion, be it sports, because there's water polo and all that, we will make sure that correct boxes are ticked. To a certain extent, that approval process, because it goes to head office, the district will also verify and make sure that what comes from the school is what is expected. If not, then they turn it back and they check, this area and that area. And, this one was approved. We just don't know what happened on the day. So they would have ticked all the boxes, because head office will not approve if they have not done that.
Steve, a 12-year-old, that's how old she is, very young. I can imagine that the family is still traumatized based on what they have been explaining. The father himself says this will change him forever. And at some point they said that there was no communication at all, that they had no idea. Why was there this break of communication?
You will expect that communication to always be intact, between the school, the district, and the family in the event of any eventuality. You will understand that as head office will come at a later stage. Sometimes you don't even have that information timelessly. But at the level of a school and the district, that information should filter down to the family to say this is what transpired, and if they need to go at that scene, they need to be granted that space to do so, depending on the family. Some families will resort in doing other things, but the family has a right to know what is happening to their children. So the investigation will then interact with everyone that is involved. The school, the SGB, the school management, learners that were there, even if they want to visit where this incident occurred, they will be allowed to do so, and also interact with their family. We will not underestimate any incident that happened in our environment. That's why we took this decision. We didn't hesitate and check on the time period that we have spent to appoint this law firm now that we are presenting it today.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Steve. Well, they're looking for answers, and at this point, they're trusting that this firm will be able to interact with everybody that was involved, as Steve is saying, and find that sort of closure that the family deserve. I think what's important there is that Steve is saying that the family had a right to know what really took place, or circumstances building up to what ended up in such tragedy. And of course, that investigation is going to be speaking to everybody, meaning that the family as well, at least, we'll get to know what really happened. Yeah, absolutely. Cold comfort, of course, for the family, I'm sure, because we've heard much of what Steve Mabona has had to say in the wake of Nqobile's passing at Parktown Boys. Nonetheless, an important story sharply on our radar. Nqobile Madlala, live to us there from Laerskool Queenwood in Pretoria. Thanks very much indeed.